And we're live. Welcome back for another stream. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're all well, and I hope you had a good weekend. It is Monday, and Mondays suck, but the good news is that we are live for another FPL stream, and we are less than a day away from the deadline. So loads prepared. Get your questions in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. We've got lots to talk about for this one. We'll be doing a news roundup, Kings of the Game Week, the scout selection. We'll be talking about double Gameweek 25 and 26, the most transferred players, bookies odds, chip strategy, and loads more. So appreciate you all being here. Thank you for that. Good to see so many in the stream already. K-Jax, welcome to the stream. Louis, Brandon, Noor, Oberis, Timothy. There's a few YouTube members in the chat. Good to see you all here. Hani, Rafi, Areki, Beba Funzo, Zakari, FLH, Bummies on tour, Super Duper, welcome to the stream. I think I forgot to mute Discord, let me do that. There we go. So congratulations to Senegal, who are the African Cup of Nations 2022 winners, and of course that did mean that Egypt were the runners-up, which meant Mane and Salah both featured in the final. So we'll talk about Salah in particular on this stream. Thanks so much for being here. We've got 342 tuning in already. Unbelievable turnout. Had a bit of a nightmare of scheduling this one. I scheduled it in and I didn't realise that a couple of other FPL YouTubers like FPL Raptor had also scheduled their stream for 7 o'clock. So appreciate you all being in, tuning into this one. And if we finish early, then we'll go and say hello to his stream later on. Elan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. In fact, Elan's just become a member as well, so thank you for that, Elan. If anyone is interested in becoming a member, it does include early access to my videos, and there's a private channel on the Discord where I give team feedback, so loads of goodies there, and it's like £3 a month, so you can't go wrong really. Damien says, no stream tomorrow. There will be one tomorrow as well. I just wanted to do one tonight. I had nothing to do tonight, and FPL was hot on my mind after the last few days. It's been non-stop in terms of the content. I think for about the last 4 or 5 days in a row I've been doing FPL content, and it's a double upload today. Did the Roundup video earlier, and then we've got the stream right now. And also I've got a new microphone. Hopefully I sound good on the mic. This is my first stream using my new mic, so hopefully the sound is coming through crystal clear. Hanny says, what's the best wildcard draft? I have actually also prepared a wildcard draft for this stream, so we'll have a look at that later. Let's do a quick news roundup first. We'll start with Liverpool, since we were talking about Salah. And the news from today is that Salah has reportedly told Liverpool that he will be back in training tomorrow, and he's eager to play against Leicester City. So what do we think, Chad? Do we think he starts? Do we think he comes off the bench? Or do we think Klopp and the medical team say, I'm happy that you're eager, but it's not happening, Mo. You can wait this one out and play against Burnley, or I think they've got a Champions League game. But yeah, Mo Salah is almost back. He wants to play by the looks of it against Leicester, but whether Liverpool let him or not, we'll have to see. But I have to say, when I read that, I let out a sigh of relief, because obviously I had an absolute shocker with holding on to Salah rather than selling him for Bruno. And I missed out on some points there, but hopefully everyone learned from my mistakes. Evening, Sam, how you doing? FPL Focus, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. FPL Focus, people get me and him mixed up, so sometimes he gets people, you know, if he's on a stream with another YouTuber, people will say, you know, congrats on your season, Focus. Unless you are having a good season as well, Focus, but I know you said we get mixed up a lot, which is pretty funny. So the mic sounds good, that's good. Glad to hear. Champ Boy says Salah captain. I don't know if I would captain Salah off the back of this news. I think it's too early, but certainly it looks like perhaps the last game week before he becomes an obvious captain again. I say that actually, we've got the Man United double in 25, so I don't think Salah's going to be the go-to there. Some Everton news. Calvert-Lewin is in the squad. Dele and Donny van der Beek are also in the squad. Calvert-Lewin was missing from Everton's last FA Cup game with a reported knee injury, but Lampard says he's back in the squad, so that's good news. And obviously Bruno had a reported knock as well. There was nothing from Rangnick on Bruno or Sancho in the presses, but the United website says that the pair are expected to be okay after their knocks. And we're going to take a look at the scout selection next, which is as follows. I'll just read it out in case we've got any audio listeners. But their selection is De Gea in goal, back three of Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo and Cresswell. Midfield has De Bruyne captain, Son, Jota, Bowen, Buendia, interesting one. And then up top, two strikers, Edouard and Wood, another interesting one. What do you guys think of the team? Thank you to John as well for becoming a member. Really appreciate that. Thank you, John. Appreciate all the support. For those that missed it, since last week, I've officially taken the leap and now I'm doing FPL YouTube full time, which is an absolute dream come true. I'd worked in the IT industry for 8 years and I liked it. I've got a background in IT, but you know, FPL is a passion, so it's a dream come true to be able to do this sort of thing for a living. FPL Focus says, great content, Oscar. Love the team badges for the news. Thanks. Yeah, I've had them since the start of the season, and I think they're quite nice for doing the transitions and whatnot. Oscar says, no Kane is baffling there. Yeah, that's a good point. No Kane is baffling. Kane's the man in form right now. Scored an absolute worldie in the FA Cup. Looks to be back in form. Son obviously just back in the team as well, but it's Son that makes the draft. And they've gone for De Bruyne captain against Brentford, which to be fair looks like a very good fixture, I have to say. Quick look at the Kings of the Game Week, which is as follows. So it was actually Nick Pope, of all the players, who joined the Kings in Game Week 23. 19 points Pope got, unbelievable. Don't think anyone saw that one coming. Those from the fplfocal Discord will know that we've got a channel where you get to guess a player who you think is going to be the top scorer, and then if you guess correctly you get a coloured username. It's not the most glamorous prize, but it's a fun little game and loads of people get involved because you know, it's quite an exclusive prize, I suppose. Not many people have the blue username. But no one guessed Pope. No one guessed Pope. So no winners in Game Week 23. The channel is open for Game Week 24. So if anyone wants to get their guesses in, then the Discord is in the chat. Sponta says, what's your plan? So this is my team as it stands for Game Week 24. At the moment, the armband is on Trent, and I've got Bowen vice-captain. I think this game week there's loads of options, loads of really feasible options, and they're all pretty similar in terms of predicted points, which we will look at a bit later on the stream. I've prepared the predicted points for Game Week 24. Those who saw the Roundup video today may have seen that already, but I've got a slightly updated version of that. The algorithm's updated following today's news and Salah playing 120 minutes in AFCON, so yeah, since earlier today, Salah's no longer the top on the predicted points because he did play the 120 in the African Cup of Nations last night. Focus says, love it, mate. Kings of the Game Week overview. Yeah, it's something I like to track each season. It's a little graphic I made myself in Photoshop. It's not particularly useful in terms of you know, which players to pick and whatnot. You know, which teams are getting lots of players. I think it's actually Villa and City who have the most Kings of the Game Week, but it's something to keep an eye on anyway. Ayush in the chat. Ayush says, is Salah in 25 worth it over getting KDB, Bruno or Ronaldo? That's a good question. I think it's too late to move for KDB. I think the priorities have to be Bruno, Ronaldo or Salah. And I think if I were going to put them in an order from first to last, I think I would say Bruno, Ronaldo, Salah and then KDB. I think it's too early to prioritise Salah. And I realise some people can't have both, so what you might be forced to do is get Bruno first, and then you could sell him after his double game week for Salah, who has the double game week in 26 against Norwich and Leeds. What's everyone's plans in 26? Are you guys going triple captain, or are you bench boosting or free hitting? My plan is to triple captain. I mean, it's Norwich and Leeds. It's about as good as fixture pairings come. In all my years playing FPL, I don't remember ever seeing a pairing as good as that. So that's my plan. I'm going to triple captain Salah. I'm not going to overthink it. I think if I was to overthink it, Trent's a good option as well. He's got double-digit points on 7 occasions this season, including Game Week 11 and 12. He actually got back-to-back double-digit points. Now imagine that in a double game week. If your player gets back-to-back double digits, he got 12 points in Game Week 11. And he got 15 points in Game Week 12, so that's 27 points. Someone triple that. What's 27 times 3? Quick maths. Don't know what that is. Is it 71? 61. Imagine getting that off your triple captain alone. Anuraj, thanks for the donation. He says, congrats on going full-time as a YouTuber, all the best. I'm using my wildcard this week. You've got Bowen, Salah, Martinelli, KDB, Edouard Brozier. You've got 13.4 mil for one striker and one mid. Who would you suggest? I would suggest... Oh, you've got... Okay, I understand now. So you can't spend 13.4 on a striker. I would have said Ronaldo. So you've got Edouard Brozier. I think the third, you could go for Josh King. I know he's not been great recently, but he does have the double game week. I think it's too early to go for Weghorst. We're going to talk about Burnley a bit later because they could get back-to-back double game weeks in 26 and 27. So if it was one striker and one mid, I would go for Rafinha. That'll be my midfielder, and then I think with that you can afford Josh King. How much is Rafinha? 6.6 plus 5.9. I think that would probably be your best pairing, those two. I think that's what I would do there. And thank you also to Abadi. He says, congrats on switching full time. I do own Son, however I'm not sure now if he gets the full 90. He got subbed off in the cup game. I think if anything he got subbed off in the cup game in preparation for this weekend. I don't know if you can hear that on the stream. ASMR stream. Pouring a Pepsi Max. That's good. That's refreshing. Yeah, I think if anything, Son, if a manager brings a player off early in a cup match, I think if anything, it's in preparation for the league. So I wouldn't be worried about Son's minutes, to be honest with you. Did I miss another donation, or is that it? I did. Let's skip. Thanks for the donation as well. He said triple up KDB, Son, and Kane and Salah on a wild card. Oops. Did that come through on the stream? Sorry about that. I've got the deadlines on my calendar. I don't know why. Like I'm ever going to miss a deadline. Let's skip. Thank you for that. Yeah. So triple up. I don't think I would go for KDB on a wild card. To be honest with you, I think you need to have one of Bruno or Ronaldo. I like Son and Kane. Good picks. But if I was going to triple up, it would be Bruno with Son and Kane or Salah. Sorry, Son or Kane and Salah. That's what I would do. So 81 points was it? Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Imagine if Trent or Salah or whatever gets 27 points in the double game week. 81 points from your triple captain alone. That's the stuff dreams are made of, right? Triple captaincies, because it can go the opposite way. Hanny says Pepsi advertisement. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi. I have been drinking them since I first started doing streams, but they haven't reached out yet. But if you're watching this, Pepsi, DM me. Bruce says, I hope Pepsi paid you for that endorsement. They didn't. They didn't. I spend way too much on my Pepsis. It is Pepsi Max, if that helps my case at all, but I do drink too much Pepsi. John says, Oscar, why don't we like Sterling, FPL? I'm excited to bring him in for the last 10 matches. I think the reason we don't like him this season is because Foden looks an equally good option for cheaper. And KDB's been doing fairly well as well. And I suppose Foden and Sterling are kind of competing for the same spot down the left. I know that it's quite a fluid formation and they both can play, but I think I would look at Foden if I was going to get a City player. I think I'm all caught up on the chat. So what else do we have to talk about? Let's see. So yeah, we've got the double game week 26, of course. That's the other big news. So this is a graphic I prepared with the double game week 26 fixtures. I did do a video on the double game week 26, if anyone's not seen that. But the teams with the double game week are Arsenal, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Liverpool, Spurs, Watford and Wolves. How many double game week players have you guys got? I think I can get to 8. I think I can get to 2 for double game week 25, and then I can get to 8 for double game week 26, which I don't mind because there's some teams like West Ham who have a good single game week fixture. Nick says, am I mad for going Watkins instead of Edouard in game week 24? It's not mad, but you'd have to say Edouard's got more chances of returning because he's got 2 good games. I think he's got Norwich and Brentford, and then he's got this double game week 26 here, Chelsea and Watford. So it's 2 good fixtures before the double. I know that Villa have good fixtures as well, but I think if I was picking one between the two, I would be more inclined to get Edouard personally, and his underlying numbers are good. So this is a graphic from Lego Mane. Give him a follow on Twitter if you're not already. He does a similar work to Ben Crellin, but he tracks things like postponements and whatnot. And it's Leicester who are the only team with 4 fixtures still to be rescheduled. We'll come back to that in a minute because that could actually get rescheduled in the next few game weeks. Arsenal, Everton and Burnley all have 3 games to reschedule. And then Chelsea, Spurs, Aston Villa, Newcastle all have 2. And then I think there's 6 or 7 teams that have 1 game left to reschedule. And then there's about 5 teams with no fixtures to reschedule. So basically loads of double game weeks to come still. In fact, almost every game week from here until the end of the season could be a double game week. Might not be a big one, but lots of potential doubles on the horizon. But also blanks on the horizon. So this is another graphic from Ben Crellin. And here he is basically talking about Game Week 30. And the problem with Game Week 30 is that it clashes with the FA Cup quarter-finals, round 6. And unfortunately, because of the draw, there's loads of teams that could blank in Game Week 30. So these 3 fixtures at the bottom are the only fixtures currently guaranteed to go ahead in Game Week 30. And there's not many players that we have from these teams, at least in my case. You know, you look at teams like West Ham, they blank, Chelsea, City, Man United, Liverpool. Sorry, they don't necessarily blank, but they will if what he's put here happens. So really, Ben Crellin's got all the details there if you want to check that out. But the point is that Game Week 30 could be a huge blank, so something to be conscious of, especially if you've used your free hits already, or if you've got one left, like I do, because we have to be mindful of where we're going to use it. But it does look like potentially a very good time to use the free hit. And lastly is trying to remember why I prepared this now. Right, this was it. So we were talking about Leicester and their postponements, and Ben Crellin says that Burnley and Leicester should be moved to Game Week 27, which means that Leicester will get a single game week in 27 and Burnley will get a double game week in 27. So what that means is that Burnley, if that does happen, get back-to-back double game weeks. So I wonder if someone like Weghorst would be worth a shout or not if he gets back-to-back double game weeks. Did I miss a few messages or a donation? Flandy, how you doing? He says, what are your thoughts on Reguilon? Keep or bin? Thoughts and minutes? I would keep him if I had him, absolutely. The next couple of fixtures are good and then he's got a double game week. I would definitely keep him. Amy says, I freaked out. I thought it was a deadline stream. No, I thought I would just do a stream tonight and then tomorrow I'll do a deadline stream as well. A few people were asking if I could do a wildcard video. But the problem is if I do a wildcard video then I wouldn't have the time to do a stream as well. So I have got the wildcard team to show you on this stream, but basically it would have meant I can't do this stream and talk about all the other bits and bobs. So I thought I'd do a stream instead. So I appreciate you all being here. If you haven't enjoyed the stream so far, do hit like. We've got 152 likes so far. We've got 900 tuned in. So if you're the one letting the side down, hit like right now. Much appreciated. The YouTube algorithm loves a like, so I appreciate that. Yeah, Ryan asked a good question. He said, could get Cornet in 26 if they double in 27 too. Yeah, so he's the other one. I mean, there's not many options in that Burnley side, but if they get back-to-back double game weeks, we have to be tempted, don't we? I'd be tempted. But yeah, there's not many options. You could go for someone like Tarkowski or me in defence. Maybe Nick Pope if you need a goalkeeper. You know, 4 games in 2 game weeks. It's there is higher upside there. And perhaps the highest upside is the defenders. Historically, we've seen defenders do very well in double game weeks because, you know, the fixtures are coming thick and fast. Often teams don't blow teams away and it's the defenders who come out on top. I've got fond memories of John Stones last season and his haul in one of the double game weeks. He got something like 27 or something ridiculous in the double game week. And I have such good memories of that game week is because that game week I brought in John Stones and that was the game week when he absolutely hauled. In the first game, he scored twice and kept a clean sheet, and then in the second, I think he kept a clean sheet again. Nick, thank you so much for the donation. He says, I worry about Edouard's minutes. Palace have 7 players for their front 3 positions. I intend to get the best Palace forward, Gameweek 26 instead, maybe not Edouard. But who would you get instead if you're not going to get Edouard? Zaha's not really been an option this season. Olise maybe, but he's been in and out of the side, so I think if I was going to go for a Palace attacker, it would be Edouard. And you're right, his minutes have been a bit sporadic. You know, he's not completed the 90 more often than not recently, but his underlying numbers have been very good. As has his goal contributions. He scored in Gameweek 23, scored in 21, scored in 20, 2 assists in 17. But yeah, as you say, his minutes are a concern. He was benched in the FA Cup, so that could be good news ahead of a potential start this game week. But unfortunately, Palace's game is on Wednesday, and I do normally get early Palace news, but it will be after the deadline in that case. But yeah, you're right, there is a concern there with Edouard's minutes. He's not completing the 90, so something to be mindful of, but I still think he's a good pick, in my opinion. Harry in the chat. Harry, how you doing, mate? Harry, you going to the next FPL meetup? We need to have a proper catch-up at the next one. We didn't get a chance to before. I think I was pretty drunk by the time we finally got around to chatting. But I hope to see you at the next one, mate. Harry says, thoughts on Martinelli. I worry he gets benched on the double Gameweek fixture. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, this season we've seen he's emerged as the first choice down the left, and Smith Rowe's been the one coming off the bench. So there's a chance that perhaps Smith Rowe gets minutes in one of the games. It's very possible. I still think he's worth the punt, in my opinion. You know, he's 5.4, so he's a great price point. The other option is Saka, if you can stretch to him, but I think I would go for Martinelli if I was going to pick one of the Arsenal attackers. Depends on your risk tolerance, though. I think he's probably got the highest upside of the Arsenal mids, but I think Saka's the safer pick if you're looking for more assured minutes. Dylan, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Andy in the chat as well. Andy, how are we doing? Great turnout tonight. Didn't expect this. You are going to the meetup. He says, I am indeed. Are you? Yeah, we didn't. I think you got swarmed. So many fans. For sure, let me buy you a drink. I did get swarmed. That was the problem. I saw you were the first face I saw as soon as I went in, Harry. I was like, oh my god, that's FPL Harry. I'm gonna have to chat to him when I get a minute. But yeah, a few people were straight over, which was nice, by the way, because I'd never been to an FPL meetup before, so I felt very welcomed, I have to say. As long as you let me buy you a beer as well. Well, thanks for the donation. He says, thoughts on this wildcard. Ramsdale, Sanchez, Trent Robertson, Digne, Cancelo, Aït-Nouri, De Bruyne, Bruno, Bowen, Coutinho, Olise, Edouard, Brozier and Mopai. It's a really good wildcard. I think I would probably go for Rafinha over Olise. In fact, I did prepare a wildcard draft for this stream, so I'm going to pull that up on stream and then we can compare our notes. So this was my wildcard draft. So in goal we had the same keepers. In defence, both had Trent, both had Robertson, both had Cancelo. I had Dunk and Dalla. You had Digne and Aït-Nouri. I like the Digne pick. I think he's very, very good as well. I quite like Dunk because he's got the double game week, but obviously Villa do have a few postponements to reschedule themselves. KDB I like, so I assume you're booking in a transfer to go KDB to Salah. I suppose you'll get away with it because KDB's next 2 fixtures are really strong, but yeah, you absolutely need to get Salah, so I presume you're planning to get Salah for Gameweek 26, so you'll just ride the next 2 out without Salah, which I think is okay. Coutinho I'm not too sure on either. Those are probably the only players I would change. I think Coutinho or Olise could be Rafinha. And I personally had Martinelli. Harry was talking about him just now. I had Martinelli on my wildcard draft. But other than that, I think it's a very strong draft. Mopai, he's been getting the points, but his underlying numbers have been pretty shocking. So, don't know about Mopai, but there's not many options up top. That's the problem. I had Josh King instead, who obviously has the double as well. And also thank you for the donation, Mikkel. He says, just tuned in, got 2 free transfers. Jota to KDB this week, and then Bruno, and then to Salah. I don't think so. I think it's too much of a hokey cokey with your transfers, to be honest with you. Jota to KDB. I mean, I probably would just go Jota to Bruno, to be honest with you. I think I would save a transfer, because otherwise you're booking in 3 transfers. And that's assuming there's no other fires to put out in your team. So I think I would probably just do Jota straight to Bruno if it was me. Are you doubled up elsewhere, Mikkel? Because that's the other thing. You absolutely have to be tripled up on Liverpool for Gameweek 26, in my opinion. If I was... So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've got Trent and Robbo, but I think I would look to triple up if you can. And I would look elsewhere to get Salah if selling Jota means you're not tripled up. Hope that helps. Chintan says he's got De Gea, Cancelo, Trent, Reguilon, Bowen, Gallagher, Bruno, Gray, Antonio, DCL, Watkins, benches Foster, Jota and Cash. I definitely wouldn't be benching Jota. You have to start Jota. I'd probably bench Gray for Jota. I think that's what I would do. Or maybe Reguilon, but I definitely wouldn't be benching Jota if that's what you're saying. So who to play, who to captain? So yeah, I'd start Jota. Who to captain? Captaincy is a tough one this game week, so I have prepared some predicted points for Game Week 24, which are as follows. And really, there's not much in it. There's so many good options this game week, and they're all pretty close to one another in terms of predicted points. Cancelo and Trent are dead even at the moment. This is FPL Review's algorithm, so I think both of those are good captain picks. De Bruyne, I'd be very tempted by De Bruyne if I had him. But Bowen as well. Did play 120 minutes in the FA Cup, scored the winner in added time. He's a good option as well. I think this game we could just go with your gut. At the moment, I've got the armband on Trent, so hopefully that helps. Harry says, double Arsenal defence or attack for Game Week 26 to 30. Who would you double up on in attack? I suppose Martinelli and Saka you could make a case for. Ramsdale, I think, no-brainer, if I can use the term no-brainer. I've been called out a lot recently for how much I say no-brainer. I'm trying to say no-brainer less, but I keep saying no-brainer. So sorry about no-brainer. I'm saying no-brainer so much, I'm getting that thing where it doesn't make sense when you say it out loud anymore. No-brainer. And he's going KDB captain. Yeah, this is the game week where there's such a good spread of options. In fact, we'll have a look at the captain poll results next. If anyone's not on the Discord, I'll spam a link in the chat now and we'll have a look at the results of the captain poll. And if you haven't voted, then make sure you get your votes in now. That's the Discord. So yeah, if anyone's not on the Discord, super useful FPL resource. We've got things like the price changes, we've got the lineups, we've got the live scores, we've got the live points, we've got the bonus points, it's got the gaming stats, injury updates, top 10k stats, insider trading, news, loads of goodies here, and you can pick which alerts you want to receive on your phone. But the captain poll results are as follows. There's a few more votes still coming in. But in front is Bowen. Bowen's got 183 votes as it stands. Next is De Bruyne, 131. Kane's got 33. Love the Kane vote. Cancelo's got 45. Trent's got 24. So yeah, this game week it's a really big spread, which is great because does anyone remember a few game weeks ago, like game week 20 here, Salah 409. Game week 18, Salah 426. Game week 17, Salah had 590 votes. So it's great. We can enjoy a couple more game weeks where the obvious captain isn't Salah. Because of course, game week 25 is the Man United double game week. So I think those of us with Man United players will be tempted to go for them instead. Seems kind of obvious if you've got Bruno or Ronaldo. John says, imagine triple captain Mane for the Liverpool double game week. You'd have to have nerves of steel for that one. I was one of those managers, I'm getting PTSD right now just talking about it. I was one of those managers who triple captained Mane a few years ago when Liverpool had a double game week. Mane and Salah were dead even on predicted points, and therefore I thought I'll go for Mane because he's less owned, so if this comes in I'll move up the ranks way more. And Salah smashed it, and Mane went off injured in the first game and missed the second of the double. Ismail says, are you still in the FPL Cup? No, I'm not. I got knocked out a while ago, I think. Yeah, I got knocked out in Gameweek 22. And I got knocked out of the Arsenal one in Gameweek 20. So, yeah, I got knocked out a while ago. What else do we have prepared for the stream? We'll have a look at the transferred players, which are as follows. Most transferred in is Digne, just barely. 173,000 managers have picked up Digne, followed closely by Edouard. Both of them have got 173k or so transfers in. Bowen as well, 171k have picked him up. Coutinho, interestingly. Salah, at long last, is back on the most transferred in. 160k have picked him up. De Bruyne, 136k have brought him in. Robertson's been massively flying under the radar. I think he's still under 10% owned, and he's been outscoring Trent recently. And I think if you're on a wild card, the best triple up in terms of Liverpool is Robertson, Trent and Salah. I think that's what I would do if I was tripled up on Liverpool now. Most transferred out is Dennis, who's top. Despite his double game week, he is the most transferred out. I suppose a lot of managers binned him off after his red card weeks ago now. So yeah, not surprised there, but they do have the double game week, of course, in 26. Mason Mount, second most transferred out. No surprise to see the Chelsea names here because, of course, they've got the couple of blank game weeks, and then they've got Crystal Palace and then another blank game week. Some interesting messages in chat. Hang on. I've never had to ban someone from chat before, so I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe that did it. What a message. I'm not reading that out. Mikael says he's got Trent, Cancelo, Dawson, Dallo, Libra, Gray, Jota, Rafinha, Bernardo, Bowen, Kane, Antonio, King, David De Gea and Ramsdale. We'll have to do it with 2 free transfers. What are the moves you're making, Mikael? Oh, what to do, sorry. What to do with 2 free transfers. So you got Kane. Kane's a tricky one because obviously Man United have got the double, but I don't think it's worth selling Kane for Ronaldo or anything like that. How much have you got in the bank, Mikael? If you've got enough to find a route to Bruno, then I'd probably go for Bruno. If not, your team looks in good shape, so I'd probably just roll the transfer and then have a plan to get Bruno in Gameweek 25. Or if you can't do it, then I'd have a plan to get Salah instead in Gameweek 26. Yeah, I mean, your team looks set. Obviously, right now, the priority has to be to have Salah for Gameweek 26. But if you can get one of the Man United players for 25, then that's good as well. I think a lot Salah's effective ownership is going to be through the roof in 26, so we have to find a route to get Salah back in if we don't have him. Vinicio says, is Lucas Moura a hold? It depends who you own in midfield, but I think he's a sell. I think you can sell him for someone who looks more assured to play in the double. Someone like Rafinha. I've seen a lot of people talking about Gallagher. The problem with Gallagher, although he has the double, of course he's on loan from Chelsea. And one of Palace's double gimmick fixtures is Chelsea, which means that he will be ineligible to play. So it's basically just a single game week. $4.3 mil on the bank, Mikael. Yeah, I think you're okay to roll the transfer, and then if possible, I would look to get Bruno in. Or failing that, Salah. It's a tricky one because I'm looking at Bruno as well, and the problem is, you get Bruno in for Gameweek 25, and then you have to shift him straight back on for either Salah, or if you've already got Salah, then you have to shift him on for Son. Or likewise, if you've got Ronaldo, you get him in for 25, and then you have to shift him straight on for Kane. So I think that's the way to play it. Right, let's play a quick round of Who's That Player. Guesses in the chat if you know who the player is. The way it works is you'll see a cutout of a player, and if you recognise the player, then put your guesses in the chat. Here's the first one. We'll start with an easy one. Guesses in the chat. Who's that player? Keep the questions coming and I'll do my best to answer them. Amir says, start Dennis King or Soufal. I would start King, personally. Graham says, keep Antonio, go for Edouard. I think I'd keep Antonio for this game. And then maybe you could consider selling him for Edouard for the double. But they play Watford at home this week. It's a very, very good fixture. I think everyone got that one. It was indeed Reece James. Alright. Guesses in the chat. Who's that player? We'll step it up a bit. Marcani says, what about Cornet from Burnley? Yeah, maybe. I think if he gets good minutes over the next couple, then you could bring him in for double Gameweek 26. And then Burnley could also have a double Gameweek 27. So he certainly could be an option if they've got the back-to-back doubles. But yeah, it's too early, yeah, because the next two fixtures are tough. A lot of guesses of Tarkowski in the chat. A few for Foden, Bernardo, Cresswell. FPL Phillips in the chat. How you doing, mate? It was indeed Tarkowski. Alright, we've got a couple more of these. Guesses in the chat. Who's that player? Oh, I've just poured my Pepsi down myself. I hope that doesn't come through on stream. I've had an absolute shocker here. I can't even get up to clean it off. I'm just going to have to let it dry. I just know someone's going to clip that as well, and that's going to come out on Twitter, that me pouring Pepsi down myself. I think most people got it. A few guesses for Diaz, Dyer, Shelby, KDB. The answer was Luke Shaw. I'm glad I spilt Pepsi down myself while chat was spammed with guesses, so hopefully we gloss over that one. But we've got one more. Guesses in the chat. Who's that player? Nick says Marouane Fellaini. Jampat says Weghorst. Jack says Dan Burn. Ewan says Pogba. Zip says Milner. Mikey says it's Chris Wood. Quite a few Weghorst guesses in the chat. Zlatan. Andy guesses Wood. The answer was Dan Burn. This is such a stupid joke. Well done if you got it. Right, I did want to quickly talk about chip strategy as well, because we've got not just doubles on the horizon, but we've also got blank game weeks. So this is a graphic from a video I posted a couple of days ago. I might have to zoom out so that fits. And it's a very, very loose chip strategy. One way you could approach the next few game weeks. So double game week 26, I would say, is probably the best triple captain opportunity. I would say you could go for Salah or Trent. Kind of obvious. They've got Norwich and Leeds at home. I think that's probably the best opportunity to triple captain. You could save it for later in the season, but it's not clear whether there'll be a better opportunity, and I personally doubt it. Oh, excuse me. And game week 27 is a free hit opportunity because Arsenal, Chelsea, Leicester and Liverpool all blank. And obviously these teams we do own several players from. Most of us are going to be tripled up on Liverpool, so straight away we're going to have 3 players that don't play in 27. Arsenal of course had the blank as well, so that's an opportunity to free hit, especially if you've got 2. It looks like a good opportunity to free hit. Game week 30 is another free hit opportunity because it is the big blank. It will be the biggest blank of the season. There could be as few as 3 fixtures that go ahead. So that's another option there to use your free hit then. Again, if you've got 2, then you could even go for 27 and 30. Game week 31 could be a wildcard opportunity. If you decide not to use your free hit in 30, then one thing you could do is spend your transfers to basically dead end your team in Gameweek 30. So you just bring in whatever teams have a fixture just to get by in 30. And then you could wildcard straight away in 31 to get out of that situation. 33 and 36 also look like free hit and bench boost opportunities. They're going to be large double game weeks, but those aren't going to be the only double game weeks either. That's the thing. There's so many postponements that we could have double game weeks all the way through the remainder of the season. Najma says, is Gameweek 28 a good time to wildcard? It might be. It's difficult though because, like I said, we have the blank in 30, so it's tricky to wildcard and then you have to engineer your team towards the blank unless you plan to free hit in 30. But I'm not sure if I'm keen on the idea of wildcarding and then free hitting immediately after, because it feels like you've wasted a game week that you could have engineered your wildcard towards, if that makes sense. So maybe it's not the most optimal way to use your wildcard. John says, Dirk Kuyt was my guess. What a player he was back in the day. Dirk Kuyt. Thanks so much for tuning in so far. If you have enjoyed the stream so far, do hit like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Really appreciate that. We've got over 1,000 tuning in already, which is unbelievable. I didn't expect such a turnout on a Monday night, so I appreciate you all being here. As always, once the stream wraps up later, we'll add timestamps to the entire stream, so if you missed anything, then you'll be able to skip back through and watch anything that you missed. Lil Sus says, will there be a stream tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do a deadline stream tomorrow as well. So the deadline is at 6:15 PM UK time tomorrow. So we'll go live an hour before the deadline. So 5:15 PM tomorrow we'll be live for a deadline stream as well. Keep your guesses coming. I'll probably stick around for another 10-15 minutes, and then if FPL Raptor is still live, then I'd like to raid his stream because I accidentally scheduled this stream for the exact same time as him, which was not intentional. So yeah, we could raid his stream later if he's still live. Monkey Man says, what are your thoughts on Regulon? If I had Regulon, then I wouldn't be selling, but I also wouldn't be buying. I'm just not totally sure whether Sessegnon gets some minutes or not in left wing back. Regulon's been a bit in and out of the side, so I don't know if I would be bringing Regulon in. If I was looking for a Spurs defender, I think Davies is the one I'd get. He's only 4.5. Did I miss a donation? Declan, he says, Lamptey, King, Eduard, Mahrez, Digne, bench boost with 2 free transfers and a -4. I don't think I would do it this week. I don't think I'd take a -4 to bench boost. I think you're better off bench boosting a bit later in the season, perhaps when there's a double game week. I don't think I would be taking a -4 for those players. And also, it's not guaranteed that Mahrez plays, so it's a little bit risky. So yeah, I don't think I'd take a -4 just to bench boost. I think there'd be a better opportunity. Ari says, what's your exact chip strategy? I don't actually have it nailed down yet. I'm not 100%. I'm still deciding whether I want to free hit in 30 or whether I need to make transfers with Gameweek 30 in mind, if that makes sense. Because as we were saying earlier, there's only 3 fixtures currently going ahead in Gameweek 30, which are these 3 here. Leicester v Brentford, Wolves v Leeds, and Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Those are the only 3 fixtures currently going ahead in Gameweek 30. And there's a lot of others here that could go ahead, but it depends on what happens in the FA Cup. And you can see some of these results look pretty likely. You know, if Liverpool beat Norwich, then Liverpool and Man United blank in Gameweek 30. And again, like, you know, if Man City beat Peterborough, I think that is. So it looks very likely that it's going to be a huge blank game. It could be only 3 or 4 games that go ahead. So I'm thinking about whether I want to free hit then, or whether I want to make transfers. With Gameweek 30 in mind, you know, I could bring in a player like Digne, who has a fixture in Gameweek 30 regardless. In terms of other chips, triple captain Salah in Gameweek 26, that's the obvious one. And then I've used my bench boost already, so basically it's just the wildcard left. And I'm thinking I might wildcard in Gameweek 31. Hopefully we have a juicy couple of double game weeks after the blank, so I may wildcard straight after the blank. Harry says you can raid me. If you're live, Harry, then certainly. Let's Skip says Gallagher wildcard. I miss Chelsea, but have Norwich, Watford, Burnley and Brentford. I don't think I'd get Gallagher on a wildcard. Although, like we said earlier, Palace have good fixtures. Gallagher is on loan from Chelsea, which means that he can't play in both of the doubles that they have. I'm just going to pull up the wildcard draft again. Don't get me wrong, the fixtures are great. They've got Norwich and Brentford, but then in Gameweek 26, it's Chelsea at home, and Gallagher will be ineligible to play for that match. So it's going to be a single game week for Gallagher. He'll play against Watford, and that's it. I'd be tempted to keep a single game week player like Bowen on a wild card. I think Martinelli I'd prefer over Gallagher as well. Rafinha I prefer over Gallagher. But yeah, if I was on a wild card, I think the draft would look like this here. So this gives you Sanchez, Dunk, and Bruno and Dalot for double game week 25, and then game week 26 you've got Ramsdale, Robertson, Trent, Rafinha, Salah, Martinelli, Edouard and King all doubling. So loads of double game week players. And then also what I would do with this is I'd downgrade Bruno to Son for the double game week, which gives you an extra double game week player. That's probably what I would do, something like this if I was on a wild card. A trainer says bench 1, Soufal or Cash. Let's have a quick look at the clean sheet odds, and that should help answer that one. Which are as follows. So West Ham have a 42% chance and Villa have a 31.5%. So I would bench Cash and start Soufal. Man City are well out in front, 58.5% chance of a clean sheet this game week. Man United second with a 42.5% chance. Liverpool 42, West Ham 42. If I do stick with the Trent captaincy, I really hope they do keep that clean sheet, but hopefully we'll see an attacking return from Trent as well. Rock bottom Brentford, 5.5% chance of shutting City out according to the bookies. Leicester 7% chance for their trip to Liverpool. And he says that's a nice wildcard draft, mate. Easy switch of King to Broja and upgrade Bruno to KDB2. Yeah, exactly. There's quite a few different routes you could take. You know, and a few price points covered. So, yeah, I think if I was going to draft, if I was on a wildcard draft, it looked like that. Marvin, how you doing? He says Dennis Alonso for Edouard and Digne, -4 hit. Alonso to Digne I like. Dennis to Edouard, I don't think I'd take a -4 for it. I think I would just keep Dennis for this week, and then you could make the move next week. I don't think, famous last words, Edouard outscores Dennis by 4. So I think I would just not take the -4, but I like the Digne move. Harry says, where's this from? It's from checkthechance.com, I think. Checkthechance.com. I chat to the guy every game week. He does the goal scorer and clean sheet odds, and I use his data to do my roundup videos. So really, really cool guy. He's always very responsive. He lets me know when he updates the odds so that I can make the roundup video for you guys. So yeah, shout out to checkthechance.com for the bookies odds. And it's a useful tool, bookies odds, because it's in their interest to be right. So therefore, you know, it's in our interest to pay attention to what the bookies are saying. John says, I just told this girl that I love her. Congrats, John. What did she say? Now I'm gripped. What did she say, John? Did she reciprocate? Or did she say, let's just be friends? The skip says, issue with Martinelli is he has 2 blanks, including 27. Yeah, so obviously you need to be able to rotate around his blanks, but I would still have him on a wild card, and I would look to rotate around him. So I'm just going to put up that wild card draft again. So this is how it would look. So he blanks in 25, but in this case you start Robertson, Trent, Cancelo, Dunk and Dalot, so you go 5 at the back. Midfield 3 you'd go Salah, Bruno, Rafinha. You might have a benching headache, might be Bowen on the bench, and then you could probably start Edouard and Watkins, something like that. So you can rotate around Martinelli's blanks. But yeah, if you can't rotate around Martinelli's blanks, then don't get him, obviously. But if you're on a wild card, then it's very easy to build a team that does rotate around Arsenal's blanks. Harry says, tell us, John. What does she say? What does she say, John? Don't leave us hanging. He says, let's see. Okay, she hasn't got back to you yet. Keep us posted. Swing by for the deadline stream tomorrow and tell us if she says, I love you too. I don't know if I should say it or not, but I do have some exciting news. So those that follow me on Twitter probably saw that I have been making custom shirts for people, like FPL shirts. I'll just try and find it now. I'll try and find the original post so that you can see what I'm referring to. Where was it? Let's see. I think it was this post here. I don't know if you guys saw this when I was doing this, but I was making custom shirts for people on Twitter. My little brother is a web developer, so I've been working with him over the last week or so. He's been doing all the heavy lifting, to be fair, but he's working on a website that lets people pick the kits, pick the season, home away kit, and a custom name to go on the shirt. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's still in the early days yet, so I'm not going to put the link out there or anything, but he's got a very basic version working. So once it's live, I hope to see custom FPL kits all over Twitter. So that's something in the works. If he's watching this, he might kill me for teasing that I'm working on it, but sorry, mate. But yeah, shout out to my little brother. He's the smarter one of us. Of me and him. Of us? That's what I mean. Doesn't even make sense what I'm saying. He's the smarter one. The skip says, when would you use the bench boost with your wild card? That's the thing, if you're wildcarding, ideally you want to bench boost straight after, because you know, that's how you can engineer towards a bench boost the most. So yeah, if I was wildcarding, ideally you want to bench boost straight after, but Gameweek 36 could also be a very good opportunity, because that's going to be probably the biggest double Gameweek of the season. So yeah, if you don't use it straight after your wildcard, then 36 looks like a good Gameweek. I don't think Gameweek 26 is a good Gameweek to bench boost. Realistically, I think there might be better opportunities later in the season. She said wildcard. Is she a keeper? Harry says, full of exciting news at the moment. It is exciting news. I can't wait until it's done. Brian says, let's shout out to FPL Raptor. Yeah, I've shouted him out a couple of times on the streams, but if anyone doesn't know, I scheduled this stream at the same time that his started, or his stream, so that's my bad. I didn't mean to schedule a stream at the same time as another YouTuber, but I suppose it does happen because there's so many of us. But the plan is, once this stream wraps up, we're going to go raid his stream. Max, thanks for becoming a member for 3 months. I think Max is one of the longest standing members. He says Benteke and Robertson, or Edouard and Virgil van Dijk for Gameweek 26. Benteke, I don't think I would go anywhere near. So it'd have to be Edouard and Van Dijk. It's an interesting one. I think Van Dijk's actually on more points than Robertson, and in previous seasons they've scored similarly, even though you associate Robbo as the very attacking one. So I don't think Van Dijk's actually the worst suggestion, and I do fancy Liverpool to do well defensively in that double. So yeah, it'd have to be Edouard and Van Dijk, definitely. I wouldn't be going for Benteke. Anyway, how long we got left? I think we'll get to the hour mark and then we'll go raid FPL's Raptors stream. How about that? Keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. If you have enjoyed the stream so far, do hit like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Ken says, would you bench a Watford defender or Reguilon? Watford defender? Do you mean Watford striker? I'd definitely bench a Watford defender. I'd probably bench a Watford striker as well. West Ham, I think, we're quite high up on the clean sheet odds, so I don't think I would start one of the attackers. West Ham, 42% chance, so they're actually third, just barely third, almost second on the clean sheet odds for this game week, so I think I'd start Reguilon. Those who are the FPL Focal members will know on the Discord that we've actually got a guy who's got a direct line to Reguilon. So sometimes he messages him and says, "Are you starting tomorrow?" Which is unbelievable. So that's another reason to become a member as well, on top of getting early access to videos and that private channel where I give team feedback. Idris says, "I think you should take a hit to remove DCL." So yeah, this is one potential move I was considering if DCL was out, was DCL straight to Ronaldo. I was strongly considering that because I've got enough money. It leaves me with 0.6, and it also leaves me enough to move Alonso on. So I'm not definitely against the idea yet, but I'm a bit on the fence after today's presses where Lampard said that Calvert-Lewin is available. So I don't know. I may instead just roll the transfer, and then I'll move Gray on for Bruno, and I'll have to downgrade Alonso. So maybe Alonso to Dallo, Gray to Bruno, something like that. Keeney says, "What site was that? FPL Review?" Yeah, FPL Review I use for the predicted points, and I use Check the Chance for bookies odds. Inferno says, "What are you doing this week?" Yes, I'm either going to roll the transfer, or I may go DCL to Ronaldo. Not sure yet. I'm going to think about it overnight tonight and then decide tomorrow. What I like about the Ronaldo move is it lets me get a Man United player a week early, whereas if I get Bruno in 25, I literally have to sell him straight away for Son in 26. Or 27, sorry. No, 26. Yeah, 26. So at least I get Ronaldo's points against Burnley as well. But that isn't to say DCL doesn't do as well, but he did have the knee injury and he's only just back in training. So I'm a bit on the fence with my moves. FPL Phillips says, "How do you have the FPL website with the purple background so wide?" Oh, that's there's a browser add-on called Stylus, and it lets you modify the CSS, which is kind of like the layout and appearance of web pages. So yeah, thanks to my background in IT, we did a course, or a course on web design, and basically I tweaked the CSS to change the background color and a few other bits and bobs. So that's what that is. Connor, thanks for the donation, mate. Appreciate that. Adrian says, "Start Gray or King?" I think I'll start Gray. Rory says, "Thoughts on Elise?" He looks like a really great player. I'd be very tempted to get him if I was on a wild card. If I wasn't on a wild card, then I think I'd look for players like Rafinha and Martinelli. Martinelli, if you can rotate it around his blanks. If not, yeah, I think Elise is a good pick. Chris FPL says, "Sorry if you already spoke about this, joined late. De Gea or Ramsdale start?" Yeah, it's a difficult one, but who to start between the two. I'm in the same predicament. I've got both of them. Man United are second on the clean sheet odds, 42.5% chance, whereas Arsenal have got a 37.5% chance. At the moment, I'm starting Ramsdale. What's leaning me towards starting Ramsdale is that Wolves have just been so shocking offensively. Over the last 6 game weeks, they're literally rock bottom for expected goals. And over the season, I think they're about 16th or 17th. So yeah, they've been struggling for goals. They've been great defensively. There's some great options in their defence, like Kilman, Aït-Nouri, those sort of players. But yeah, offensively they've just been struggling. So I'm leaning towards starting Ramsdale at the moment. But there might be my Arsenal bias creeping in there. Anyway, let's check if FPL Raptor is still alive. He is, perfect. So I'm going to wrap the stream up there, everyone. We've been going for a good hour, so thank you so much if you have tuned into this stream. If you did enjoy the stream, do hit like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Before we go, we're going to head over to FPL Raptor's stream and we'll go raid FPL Raptor. So I'll put the link in the chat and then we'll all go there now and tell them Focal sent you. There's the link. We'll go raid FPL Raptor. Tell them Focal sent you, but for now that's me out. Thanks so much everyone, appreciate you tuning in. Focal out.